Okay, so this is a basic video on how two-stroke strimmer engines work. Okay, so here's the piston. The piston is the main component of the engine. The piston works from an up and down motion, but you need a round and round motion in order to work the strimmer. So what happens is the piston transfers the up and down motion through the con rod and into the crankshaft. The crankshaft transfers that up and down motion to a round and round motion. The easiest way I can explain it, it's like the pedals on your push bike. When you're pedaling up and down, it transfers it to round and round. So what happens is, it basically works like this. As you can see, that's all free to turn. Right, so that up and down motion is transferred through this crankshaft here, through a shaft there, and then into the flywheel. The flywheel is there to balance the engine out, make it more smoother, and without the flywheel you wouldn't have, the engine wouldn't work because it needs the flywheel to operate the magneto, but I'll explain about that later. So then that power then goes through this drive shaft here and into this centrifugal force clutch assembly. So what happens is, when the engine powers up, it operates this centrifugal force clutch. There are two clutch pads. So when the centrifugal force builds up, these clutch pads push out. They pull themselves out. And they operate this clutch pulley here. They grip onto this surface of the clutch pulley. That there. That then turns this snake drive here. Turns the bottom of the strimmer head. This is basically how it works. So the movement from the engine goes through this snake drive, down through, to turn the strimmer head. As you can see, it's moving. That is assembled in this here. Okay, so how the engine works is, the piston is assembled in this cylinder here. This is a demonstration on what happens inside. As the piston moves down, fuel is then drawn in through the carburetor here, in through this reed valve first. That there, that's the reed valve. That stops any pressure from going out, being pushed back through the carburetor. It's basically a one-way valve. So as fuel is drawn in through here, it goes up through the throat. That's the throat there. Don't know if you can see it, but this is not a very good camera, so there's the throat anyway. So it goes up through the throat and up into the top of the cylinder. That is then compressed. There's then a spark from the spark plug. Here's the spark plug. There's then a spark from the spark plug, which ignites that compressed fuel in air, which causes a controlled explosion, which pushes this piston down. Then those burnt gases, there's a smoke off them, just like a fire. When you have a fire, there's smoke. So then those gases are then drawn through the exhaust port and out. That cycle then repeats itself again and again. Okay, what generates that spark is the magneto. Here's the magneto. Right, so how the magneto works is, it works off a magnetic field. So what happens is, there is lines of flux. Damn.